Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys are all doing well, and today, guys, we're back with a community showdown between the Rider of Rohan, who shall be leading the forces of the High Elves here, facing off against the Greenskins, who shall be led by Mixu, and he's going to be coming in with the Goblin Great Shaman against the dreaded TYRION. Now, for the High Elf build, pretty cool. Basically, the whole school of thought. TYRION is extremely difficult to kill, insane combat stats at 83 and 72. And with Heart of Avalorn, he pretty much gets, like 3,000 HP for free. It does so much healing. Does it actually say? Yeah, it looks like 1,800, but bursts of life-saving hit points. Okay, so maybe each burst does that much. I'm not quite sure, but nonetheless, he's really tough to kill. Granted, his HP pool is a little bit low, so if your opponent does have like Azag with Spirit Leech, he can still die rather quickly. But yeah, he's really tough to kill. So you bring him with the Pyramid Company, who gives him physical resist via the Guardian ability. You get a Lore Master of Hoth to heal him and just give him a little bit more of a heroic presence. And that's it. So then the rest of your army is going to be mobility, skirmishing, and missile play. You have Shadow Warriors, you have Illyrian Reavers, you have Fireborn back here, you have the big old Flamespire Phoenix. So when, and most likely, inevitably, if the Greenskins do blob up on top of your one infantry position, you're going to be able to drop bombardments with the Flamespire Phoenix. A really cool build for sure. It's going to be double Dragon Prince, a bunch of Reaver Archers, some Shadow Warriors, and basically the TYRION Death Star here, which is quite fun. For the Greenskins, Goblins, Black Orcs have always been pretty good against High Elves, great armor value, so they trade well with, they can defeat White Lions, and if your opponents do come in with the more expensive, Sword Masters and Phoenix Guard, they can usually do very well with the support of the Wa and a little bit of Greenskin Daka support. So we got Goblins, we got triple Black Orc, they're immune to Psychology also, which makes them very good against Dragons and Phoenixes. Not that they kill them, but they don't get terror-routed off and run for the hills like pretty much every other Greenskin unit. We got Stone Trolls in the back, the Stone Troll Toll, the Hammer of Gork, we got a Spirit Leecher Hag, we got a Goblin Great Shaman. Pretty good sniping, actually. Spirit Leech plus the Vindictive Glare sniping on TYRION or that Lore Master. Probably going after the Lore Master first to get rid of healing would be the proper play. Goblin Wolf Rider Archers and Spider Riders into the sunset. Let's get this party started, guys, and see how this game unfolds here. So Reavers thinking about charging into the Goblins, but it looks like they second-guess themselves when the Giant River Troll Hag does advance up. Obviously, there could be a Mither to slow them down, inevitably leading to a couple casualties on those guys. So it looks like the Vindictive Glare is going to be used on the Flamespire Phoenix. Yeah, it looks like it. Oh my god, that did a lot of damage. Goodness gracious. And in response, the Fireborn do come down, crushing these Goblins, but I have to say, that is some Value City sniping. Now, the one risk of investing a ton of resources in something like a Flamespire Phoenix is the fact that it does have that rebirth. So if you just go ham and you think you're going to get it and it rebirths after you use all your resources trying to snipe it, you can, pretty much lose the game. It's a very, very painful thing to have happen. Now we do have the ugly blob fight. We have the Pyramid Company who's getting wrecked by the Black Orcs. Probably will break pretty soon here. And then it's going to be TYRION and the Lore Master of Hoeth basically just fighting shoulder to shoulder here. Oh, but look at that Sun Fang right there. That was a beaut. Getting into those Black Orcs. Granted, it doesn't do a ton of damage against armor, but it's not insignificant. And now the Fireborn going to be coming in the back as well, hammering into the Black Orcs. They don't have great AP damage, so the Black Orcs won't die quickly, but still surrounding them and also getting the Phoenix in there to get some juicy damage. Really good play for sure. Now, Balance Bar is pretty even. The Black Orcs were able to crush the Pyramid Company, and the Phoenix is very low. But if that Phoenix gets a rebirth, it looks like the big Goblin Great Shaman might have been able to force it back there. But the Black Orcs are getting a little bit damaged. Hammer of Gork still shooting away up to 22 kills, and so far the High Elf Skirmishers are relatively safe. The Shadow Warriors have been able to evade the Black Orcs and need to continue doing so. Volume of fire can eventually bring them down, and you can see the Black Orcs are starting to take some heavy casualties here. Now, the Flamespire Phoenix is broken, but not quite at the point it's going to be getting the rebirth at. And TYRION's holding like a champ. Mither is indeed down, and TYRION does have great AP values. He does on his horse as well, so he's certainly not incapable of cutting through, a massive Black Orcs. Another beautiful Dragon Prince charge, and you can kind of see how the plan is being executed, right? Everyone's blobbing on TYRION and his little Death Star there, and then it's allowing the Dragon Princes and other assets to really focus it down. However, the Greenskins are holding well, and the balance of power actually shows them as the current leader, with the Fireborn being super damaged, focused down by these Skirmishers and Spirit Leeched. And the Black Orcs, still have a decent little presence here. It looks like some Night Goblin RORs are coming in, the unbreakable ones, and that could be another problem here. Nonetheless, the bird is back, and we have double rebirth, so even if TYRION and the Phoenix do get worked down, both of them have the opportunity to really benefit from some massive healing. And it looks like TYRION has been focusing most of his efforts here on the Black Orcs, but beautiful cycle charging here from the High Elf player, coming back and forth and really hammering into those orcs. But the Greenskin player is also doing a good job responding. Every time they charge in, the Goblin Great Shaman, throws a nice little blast into the face of some of the attackers and also does get his anti-large attacks into the bird. Oh, the Fanatics coming in. Oh, it could be a bit of a disaster. It looks like they kind of went the wrong way. They might have even hit some Black Orcs, but using them down and sideways probably would have killed so many Dragon Princes, but they really need to get in there. because currently as it stands, the Greenskins are losing this fight, and the balance of power, though it appears to still be good for the Greenskins, is going to rapidly shift once this whole pocket breaks here. And the Spider's probably going to get chased off by something or other. Yeah, like there's countless skirmishers to really pressure in here. And the Reaver is doing a good job, just kind of shooting into whatever they can. Shadow Warriors peppering it into the Goblin Great Shaman, and I don't know why the balance of power is so freaking Greenskin friendly here. I suppose it's because Tyrion and the Bird are both really beat up, but they both have, it's really deceptive because they both have so much healing. Now, nice Earthblood going down, hits the Princes, but the Stone Troll Toll is coming back, and little ROR Goblins, though they're not going to have a ton of killing power against the heavy metal of the Princes, they're going to be very efficient at just kind of poisoning them and locking them down and potentially allowing the Stone Trolls to do their job. However, the Stone Trolls break and run for the hills, as that is what Trolls do. And the little Goblins are left to fight all on their lonesome here. 736 HP here on the Goblin Great Shaman at negative 43. Certainly needs to be chased down. It looks like the Flamespire Phoenix is going to be flying over there, hustling to hunt it down. And yeah, man, the healing threat on Tyrion and that Bird, oh man, that must be so stressful. And here you can see the Reaver Archers. Some of them are able to get back here and shut down the Hammer of Gork. This is actually quite important. Hammer of Gork still has a ton of ammunition and could be a pertinent threat against the Dragon Princes and or some of the Shadow Warriors back here. But it looks like it's going to get shut down. Tyrion is now being kited out. Overcasted Spirit Leech must have been a kind of a panic play there, because overcasting Spirit Leech only puts you at risk at an overcast and extends the range. So at that distance, you didn't need to overcast it. But it's an easy thing to do. Generally, many spells you overcast, so a very easy mistake. And oh my god, the Star of Avalorn, look at that shit. Oh my god, Tyrion healed up to like full health. And with that, you know, oh, and a beautiful Sunfang too. It went from being a game that like, oh, the Greenskins are going to come back and kill Tyrion now, to surprise, like the High Elves are back and we're winning. And Shadow Warriors aren't slouches in combat. They can push in and hold their own against basic chaff units, and even against a very beat up Black Orc unit should be able to fight. And in the distance, the Goblin Great Shaman is 100% hunted down, so you can see the Bird is the word. 280 HP, and that, you know, Flamespire Phoenix hasn't even gotten its Rebirth proc yet, so that could still be a huge factor going forward. Now, the Hag is certainly the hero Gotham needs for the Greenskins, and she does have her sack of meat, so that sack of meat could slap Tyrion in the face, but he is an amazing duelist, and his stats vastly superior to hers. 25-32 against 77-72 right now, so yeah, talk about a bit of a mismatch. Shadow Warriors being used to shatter these Stone Trolls and push up the hill, and with that, we are going to have a High Elf victory. Very, very neat play there. Yeah, it was cool. Dragon Prince rounds were a thing of beauty for sure, and Foot Tyrion getting those fat heals. 2,000 value, I mean, that's about how much he costs, so he did his business, and he had more to give too. Loremaster did fine. Pyramid Company kind of got hammered, but Shadow Warriors and all the skirmishers, I suppose, did fine as well. And the Bird, it held on, man. But yeah, the Princes and Tyrion really seem to be the breadwinners. It's a pretty cool build, for sure. The Goblin Great Shaman. You know what would have been funny is if, like, the Greenskins came in with, like, Grimgor there. Just had this, like, epic duel or something. Yeah, that was really fun, though. Very, very unique and different build. Something you don't see terribly often here from the Rider of Rohan. And from Mixu, I honestly thought the build was fine. Black Orcs are really good against High Elves. Stone Trolls can help against Silver Helms and Cav. You have plenty of skirmishers to deal with their monsters. Yeah, 2,700 value on the big spider though, for sure. Perhaps I guess I'd have to really like be able to rewind and give like feedback in real time. But I don't dislike this build by any stretch. I think it's a pretty solid, well-rounded build. Hammer of Gork I really do like. I think that's cool. High Elves can sometimes bring elite infantry, so having that is useful. And also it can hit Dragon Princes, and it got 1,400 value. I suppose just the Goblin Great Shaman maybe should have been a little bit more conservative. Sat back with him, used him to continue sniping over the course of the game, and you know, just bring him in when need be. Having him in the blob fight definitely put him at a little bit of risk of getting surrounded and whatnot. But yeah, I guess just the fact that he kept getting surrounded, and the Black Orcs with instead of sending all three of them in at once into the blob, maybe like trickle them in a little bit more, some Reaganomics, which in this case might actually be better. That could be something too, because then you won't get fully surrounded. You can create like more ground control, because you only really needed one Black Orc to fight that position at a time. But yeah, something to think about. All right, guys, hopefully you enjoyed that High Elf first Greenskin game. I certainly did. It's not often we get to see the High Elves in action, but I'm actually trying to learn them. So I'm coming up with a couple builds for High Elves, and as I continue to play in tournaments and things like that, I'll maybe start to include some High Elf matches there. Granted, probably lose with them, but, you know, I'm trying to learn them. Seems like a fun faction. I like that they're well-rounded. You know, and yeah, granted, some people think they're very dependent on single entities, which they can be, but I still think, you know, Silver Helms and Reavers kind of similar to like Empire Knights and Pistoliers and things like that. So I'm trying to, like, you know, figure it out. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. We'll see you guys next time. Take care.